Hello everyone, goblins and ghouletties. So I've come on to do a quick flip through of the first 3 days of my October daily. I'm a couple of days behind because I have to get some photos printed and I can't do that till tomorrow, which might be today when this goes up. So I just wanted to come on and share the first few days, otherwise the next flip through is going to be very long. So, as you may or may not know, I love doing October and December dailies. And last year was the first year I completed an October daily all the way through. And I did it using a junk journal, which, no surprise, I make junk journals. I use junk journals. I love junk journals. So I found junk journals work very well for me, give me a lot more flexibility than what I had tried to use previously. And this year, normally my my October dailies and my December dailies are memory keeping with a few prompts thrown in because I tend to do a lot in the seasons. But with COVID, and although we're not in lockdown anymore over here in Britain, there are tighter restrictions. Some towns are in lockdown, not mine, thankfully, but it just means things are going to be a bit different this year. So I decided to try and do a bit of memory keeping, but basically do a junk journal prompt challenge. So I am doing this great October daily October daily journal prompt challenge. I think that's all the words. And it's by Pink Oddbird. Her channel's here. I will link the details of this down below. She has a website too, and you can just go print all the prompts off. I love this. Last year she sort of did 7 new prompts each week, and I didn't do a lot of them because, as I say, I normally do memory keeping, so I only did a few prompts. But doing it like this means we can catch up or get ahead of ourselves, things like that, and you can download them off her website. So I'll leave those down below. And if you check out the hashtag POBDaily20, you'll see what everyone else who's doing this challenge is doing. So the journal I decided to use that's been sitting, I bought this last year and it's been sitting on my bookcase waiting for an excuse to use it, is this beautiful Black Widow journal by Kim at Serene bookworks. I will leave her YouTube flip through of this journal down below because I have taken all the goodies out. I'm going to use them. They're in my they're in my Halloween October daily bucket. They're kind of all in there, so I'm going to use them. But anyway, it's a beautiful journal, and this is the perfect occasion to use it in. It's all blacks and reds and Black Widow. So let's get started. This is the inside. I will be doing a dedication tag as I do most years and just sort of talking about the October daily and everything. At the moment, what I've got in here is a Halloween movie list, which actually I've got to tick one off because I watched The Witches last night. It's got all the different movies that I want to watch. Oh, talking about watching, I've been watching the new Twilight Zone series, so that's got to go on my Halloween movie list. And I'm only a few episodes in and it's really good. I mean, I love the original, but the remake's just as kind of creepily spooky and weird. It's wonderful. And I'm also keeping a reading list. I am a voracious reader. I love to read, especially since I've found audiobooks. It's brilliant. I can craft, have a book on, and it's amazing. But I'm specifically going to keep a record of the spooky books that I'm reading in here, and then that'll go somewhere. And then I just did this title page, Home Haunted Home. This made me laugh. Firstly, it's brilliant because there's a key and lock there, so you know home. But this made me laugh because it made you think of, you know, COVID. We're all going to be in our homes a lot more this October, so that sort of seemed fitting. 2020 up there, and then just October and about. I may do more to this page. Oh, and a little Tim Holtz bit on the side that says a token which says, when black cats prowl, pumpkins gleam, may luck be yours on Halloween. So that seemed perfect. So dear one, the prompt, I don't know why I got all nerve and then you know, part of my family's from up Manchester way. So sometimes I fall into it. Anyway, October Daily, prompt 1, spell the word Halloween with washi tape. So I did. Halloween. I wanted it to look nice and neat. So I had these old chipboard letters that I haven't used, and they're in my stash. And I covered them in strips of my Halloween washi, cut around them, trim them, make them look neat, and then put it around here. So for day 1, not only did I do that prompt, but I've got some images here and here. And this one, the tags that came with the journal, I've just added different ribbon. So normally when it gets to this time of year over here in Britain, we don't get, I know I've moaned about this a lot, we don't get a lot of good Halloween stuff, because for some reason the British people seem to think Halloween's not a British thing, when actually this is the country it originated in. But you know, there we go. Anyway, so the only place I can really go to get anything is TK Maxx or Home Sense, because they get a lot of the American but ornaments and home decor in. And for me, a lot of my Halloween home decor stays up all year round. So I went this year, but sadly, they basically barely had anything. Normally, there's like 2 or 3 times the amount that they had this year, and none of the really like plates and glasses and things that I like to pick up. So I was a little disappointed. However, every year I pick up a new Halloween snow globe to add to my Halloween snow globe collection. And this year I actually picked up 2. I got this great goblin one that when you turn him upside down, bats fly around his head. It's really great. And then I got this little wedding one, the little skulls, and it's black and white. But on the middle there's this red, beautiful red embellishment. It just reminded me of Beetlejuice. So anyway, so that was my day 1. I didn't go day 1, but I had gone a few weeks earlier, and I just wanted to document it, what my new snow globe was. Hopefully next year's different, but it is what it is. And then this is a little embellishment, a hand-drawn embellishment from a friend of mine. I have a lot of these, so I'm trying to use them up. So day 2 was create a page with a drawing or element of your favourite person in a scary movie. Well, mine is Dracula or vampires. Now, can you see the bat? I used some gilding paste on it. I'm trying to get it. And it goes greens and reds and purples. It's a die cut. So last year I took part in a swap on the Alternative Junk Journal book. I can't remember what it's called, group on Facebook. It's not called that now. I can't remember. I'll try. And one of the swap journals was a vampire journal. Actually, it's my very first video on this channel. Camera is so bad because it was handheld, but it's my first journal that I made for this channel. And the journal I got sent was beautiful and was full of ephemera. So I've used some of the ephemera in there. Used this postcard that was in there, and then stamped blood in these gothic letters. I think this is a Tim Holtz stamp collection. Little vampire thing up there, this bat, like I said, that glitters and shines, a little stamp that I had. This is another Tim Holtz cork embellishment that I got years ago, so I don't know if you still can. It says join us if you dare. And then these, the numbers that I'm using throughout my December daily are by Priscilla at Release the Craftin on Etsy. I will leave a link to that down below because she's done a whole October daily set. And they're really good. They look just like parchment, but actually the skulls and pumpkins and all sorts in the background. Anyway, so there was the vampire. There's the second page. Here, well, few pages because it's quite a big book. So I've got this sticker that I've been hoarding forever, and again it reminded me of the Brides of Dracula. And in here I've got this, hold on, it's this colouring book, but it actually sort of is a basic story of, you know, Dracula by Bram Stoker as well. So I ripped one of the quotes out of that, you know, the famous one, listen to them, the children of the night, the way the music they make, and put it on this background and wrote on the back. This heart was already here, so it seemed perfect, and just used the sticker to say vampire. Got this little bat printable that I had in my stash, little mini clip in red. And then again, this was in the colouring book, and this says warding off vampires, and a little vampire sticker. And again, this is another Release the Craftin printable that I had. There's all these great words that says shifting shadows, so that just goes down there. And then this was already in the book, so it was perfect. And these are two of the pieces of ephemera in the vampire book journal that I got given in the gift. This says Anatomy of a Vampire, and I just love how that looks, so that tucks in there. And then there's a little Dracula from the film. And then on the back, again from the colouring book, I had this Discerning the Vampire. The devious vampire lurks in a grave when not above ground, causing havoc amongst the living. To distinguish the fiend from a harmless corpse, look for hair, beard and fingernails that have grown markedly since death, as well as open eyes or an open mouth. It makes me laugh. Anyway, so the reason I chose vampire is since I was a little girl, and I'm talking about quite young, I've been slightly into the spookier side of things. Ghosts, monsters, werewolves. And at the age of 8, I was given a book. It's called The Last Vampire, and it is by Willis Hall and illustrated by Babette Cole in 1982. And I absolutely fell in love with that book. It's about a young boy and his family who go on a camping holiday. You know, they take their car and drive through Europe and go on a camping holiday. And they stopped by this castle called Castle Alucard, which, you know, is Dracula backwards. And they meet this very sort of interesting and eccentric count there. And it turns out this count is the last vampire, and he's a vegetarian and is always a bit ashamed by his ancestors' bloodlust. And they have all these adventures, and, you know, the counts can turn into a fruit bat. And I just love that book. I've read it so many times, along with The Little Ghost, which was about the same time. I was about 8 when I got both those books. I've since read that book to my children, and I still have the original copy, and my daughter, who's now 28, actually has that book, and it will be passed down. And that was kind of my first book about vampires. I've been slightly obsessed ever since. So also on the 2nd, unfortunately, this is a personal memory, but it was the anniversary of my father's passing. So put that in there as memory, but this is the prompt. So on day 3, what lives under your bed? Well, I went a bit, I told myself, because my personal journals can get very chunky, and I was like, this time, not too much chunk. And then I went and made cushions with filling. So what lives under my bed? Prompt 3. This is my bed, so I made like a headboard. This was actually all embossed with a skull and everything, and I inked over it, and then I covered it all up. And I made a little bed, headboard and footboard, and a little blanket. There's a little cat, because in my house, you know, there's always a cat somewhere, usually on my bed. And then I did actually sew some very basic cushions, and I don't know if you can tell, but they are squishy. They've got proper foam filling. This one lifts up, so there's a few pumpkins in this. And what lives under my bed is, so this lifts up. Oh my God, this makes me laugh. Is this mummy guy, but can you see his face? He looks more scared that we've lifted the cover. I could see him. He's like, what? Who are you? Put the cover down. Sorry, it just cracked me up. So what lives under my bed is something more scared of me than I am of it. Sorry, I'm actually crying a little bit. It cracks me up so much. And then I use some different stamps. Some of them are Tim Holtz, some of them aren't. And so you've got this weird zombie thing, because obviously you always get told that the boogeyman or ghosties or whatever. So, and that's sort of like Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas, and the hand, because you're always told about the hand that comes up and grabs you from under the bed. So I put sort of what could live under the bed if it wasn't for what lives under mine. And obviously put ghosts and goblins, beware. My eyes beheld an eerie sight, things that go bump in the night. And again, these are printables from Release the Craftin that she's brought out for Halloween. And then on the side I've written, never look under your bed, exclamation mark. And then we've got this tree stamp, because it kind of made me think of, you know, all the horror stories where you're lying in bed and the tree's knocking at the window, the shadow, and it's creeping, and it's like, you don't know, is it a tree, is it a hand? So but under my bed is someone who's more scared of me than I am of it. Anyway, they are the first 3 prompts. I'm already sneak peek. Whoa, I'm already working on prompt 4, which is make your own Halloween bat and give it a Halloween night story. That's almost finished with. I've just got a few bits to do. So I will be back with days 4 to possibly 8. I don't know. I was going to do weekly flip throughs, but at this point, I don't know. It may be a bit more often than that. And anyway, loving the prompts already, April, loving this, because I've got these in my head, loving the prompts already, April. They're going to be so much fun to do in Covidween. I don't know, there must be a term that we can phrase for Halloween during COVID times. Hope you enjoyed them. And it just goes to show you can do a mix of prompts and add a bit of memory keeping in there as well. Let me know what you think. What do you think lives under your bed? Let me know in the comments down below. And follow along with the hashtag POB Daily 20 if you want to see, even if you're not taking part, if you just want to see what other people are doing, both on Instagram and on YouTube. And I will be back again soon with the next few days flip through. Until then, October blessings, everyone. Bye.